Hello and welcome to the Strategic Bookkeeper podcast. So, today's episode, if you have read my book, you will hear me talk about 3 types of marketing: brand, advocacy, paid. Yeah. Now, in this episode, what I want to help you to take action with, I want to help you understand advocacy as it relates to creating advocacy in your market, like with your market, with prospective clients. So, not just with clients, because for me as a bookkeeper, that is a bit of a mind-blowing concept, right? If you had have come to me ages ago and said, did you know that you can create advocacy for your brand, for who you are and what you do, with people that aren't even working with you? I'd be like, say what, right? So I want to give you a real life example. Like, I am literally looking at an email from a PC, a prospective client, who has never actually pressed go. So I keep in touch with him. He's cool. We vibe. I'd love to work with him, but we haven't yet. And he has referred me on to someone else. So he actually really has got to know, like, and trust me. Yeah. And he is quite happy to be out there as my sales and marketing team, telling people that I'm awesome and that if they need a great bookkeeper, or even better, strategic bookkeeper, they should use me. Okay. So I want to link this to database and give you simple strategies for using database. And I'll also link this podcast to a really high value resource that you can get access to, which is our Profit First playbook, which is a free training, how to build and maintain a highly profitable practice. Because for this episode, that is front of mind with regard to what I'm going to share with you today. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at my own slides as I seek to do these few things. All right, so to continue this conversation on advocacy and also give you action steps around database. So I will see you in the episode.
I'm Jeannie Savage, the Strategic Bookkeeper. I'm an award-winning entrepreneur, author, speaker, trainer and coach. After 13 years in practice and after scaling into a lifestyle business where I could choose my own adventure, I'm sharing my secrets to success, my secret sauce recipe on how to build a thriving practice, delight your clients and ultimately live your dream on your terms. This podcast is a companion to my book. In each weekly episode, I'll share strategies for scaling and success. This is your time to shine, to step up, to become a strategic bookkeeper and enjoy all the benefits it brings to you and your clients.
Okay, so I just feel like segueing to a topic completely unrelated to this podcast for 1 minute. I kind of do like going with my vibe. So I'm just going to tell you the 2 books I recommend to everyone that revolutionized my health. One is called Deep Nutrition by Dr. Kate Shanahan, heavy duty read, like 12-hour audiobook, okay, and deep science, but holy moly, I am a whole different person because I read that book, yeah. And the other one, podcast interruption. Just to let you know, if you did not join the program when the doors open on August 1, and they opened for 14 days before my team and I rocked up live, it doesn't mean that you can't join in. The program is evergreen. Okay, so we have a way to bring you into the program seamlessly, beautifully, so that you can absolutely start working with me to build your thriving practice, delight your clients, and live your dream on your terms. If you are keen to know how that works, just drop us an email or ask in the private Facebook group. I'm always really grateful for that because then I can help the many as well as the one. Or simply use the link that will drop in the show notes or go to the website, pretty easy, and jump into the program because 2 things. Number 1, it comes with a money back guarantee, yeah, or let's say 3 things. Number 2, I do not get you to spend extra time working with me. This is about on the job. Yes, I've done other podcasts on that. And number 3, that money back guarantee, it kicks in after a year, but my expectation is to help you get the ROI really early, so that pays for the program. But yes, we're going to spend a year together. So back to the podcast. Is the revised version of Dr. Mosley's The Fast 800 Diet. It's only 3.5 hours audiobook. I just listened to it on a big round trip and I sped it up 1.3 speed, which was fine. Holy cow, he's rewritten that 6 years on. The combination of those 2 books, I feel like you don't need to know anything else. So anyway, with that little tip around health, because you know I always encourage you to be the healthy bookkeeper, let's move on to today's topic. So I'm looking at my little notepad and there are 3 things I want to cover and give you action around, okay? So I literally want you to do your best attempt at taking action immediately after this podcast, okay? Or as soon after as you can reserve maybe just a tiny bit of time, talk to you about that shortly. So I want to cover off a bit of a in real life example around advocacy, which links through to how you can use your database. And then I want to make sure I give you access to the Profit First playbook, how to build and maintain a highly profitable practice. And actually, I'm going to drop links into the show notes so you can simply click on that to access that free training, okay? So absolutely, I'll link the first part, advocacy, to my book. So if you haven't read my book, you must read my book. There will always be links to getting a free ebook copy in the show notes. Plus, you can just go to the website, right? But if you're more of a hardcover person or audiobook person, it's available in that too, okay? Because I'm going to share with you a little, but the book is going to give you a lot more. So advocacy is the main form of marketing that you want to use. I was just actually talking to Matt Wilkinson from Biz Inc. He's our website partner. Nobody globally does websites for bookkeepers and accountants better than Matt. And he was saying that he loves to talk about leads to loyalty. And this is definitely about leads to loyalty as well. So I've just received an email. So this is in real life. This person, let's call him Justin. So him and I connected, it would have been about a year or so ago, and we had a good chat and I did a needs analysis and a proposal to take over from his existing bookkeeper who he wasn't entirely happy with. Now, even though I've followed up and we've kept in touch, we haven't been able to proceed. There was even a time where he said, when he got one of my emails and he said, Jeannie, good timing. So to be clear, we have automated emails that go to him, and I also send the occasional text message. So the automated emails is what I call passive nurturing, and then when I text him, that's what I call, I've got my business development hat on, and I just send a nice text message, which is also manners marketing. It's good manners to keep in touch with people. And in the Profit First workshop, I share with you this incredible mind map that I've done. Honestly, for that alone, access the Profit First workshop. The mind map is mind blowing. It tells you exactly how all this fits in. So he came to me like I explained, and I've been keeping in touch with him like I explained, passively, actively. So there was a time where he got one of our emails and he said, oh my goodness, timing, Jeannie, absolutely, really want to go ahead in the next couple of weeks, but it didn't happen. And that's okay, because as you may know, if you've read my book, and you will definitely deepen your learning through this free training, is that Justin is going through the customer journey, the windy road with twists and turns of digesting a lot of content, on average 7 hours over 11 touch points and 4 platforms. So if you haven't read my book, if you don't know much about this, it might be like, what is she talking about? I'm not going to dive deep into that. You've got the book, you've got this free training I'm giving you access to. But basically, think of it this way. If we take it down to more, remove the marketing language and take it back to basics, Justin and I have spoken on the phone. I've texted him. He gets emails from us. He listens to my podcast. Yes, I have a podcast. Do you need a podcast? No, you don't. If you want to launch your own podcast, go for it. I will let you know that in the program, we have a done for you podcast. I'm just rejigging it as at November 2023 to make it a little bit more powerful for the tribe before we formally give them more assets around how they can use that to promote themselves. Yeah. So in terms of that 7 hours, 11 touch points, 4 platforms, if we go backwards, the platforms he's been on is the podcast platform, the email platform, the text message platform, the we're on the telephone platform. These, again, marketing language platform, but let's take it down to basics, And I've talked about this in other podcasts. I'm not going to rattle on about it. And then if you talk about like touch points, watch, read, listen, do, well, he's listening to the podcast. He's reading my emails. He's having dialogue on the phone. He's reading my text messages. He's following our social media. So there's lots of touch points, So don't worry, you don't have to be a marketing expert to make this work for you, but I would recommend that you use my podcast and my book to slowly but surely educate yourself just little by little on these concepts. I promise you, some of them you're already using in the real world. Like you talk to people, you text people, you email people. So it's just kind of a step beyond that. And this is, I understand the deep science and art of it, okay? But don't be overwhelmed. So in this case, we have sent an automated email. So this is all kind of on autopilot. And I'll talk to you about how you can do this without all the stuff in place. I'm going to give you ways you can take action. And literally, I'm looking at my email and he sent me another email. Like I'm doing this in real life for you right now. So in this case, I sent an automated email. You can do exactly this as a manual email. So let's just kind of pivot to action. So I'm going to tell you what I did, and you can consider I'm going to sit down at my computer and do exactly what Jeannie did. It's just I don't have my database maybe as organized, and it's not going to be a preset auto. I'm going to go in and I'm just going to email all my prospective clients, anyone that I've ever kind of talk to about the possibility of doing services, my past clients as well, and my inactive clients. So anyone who you could categorize a PC, a prospective client, you could send them exactly what I'm going to tell you I sent Justin, okay? The subject line is, are you behind on the books or BAS? ? Pretty simple, relevant to all your prospective clients. No reason you can't send that out, okay? And just to pivot, because I'm going to mix up your action into the podcast, okay? So just to pivot to, if you're sitting there thinking, oh, I don't think I really have my database in order, Well, whatever accounting software you're using, all your clients are in there, we know that. And then all your past clients and inactive clients are in there too. So some of your prospective clients are in there. Technically, you could go in, export, and just take the clients out, and everybody else is a PC. If we're doing fast, furious, or as I've heard it put before, quick and dirty, you probably don't have 1 million clients. You might have 10 clients, 5 clients, 20 clients. You can quickly extract them, and everybody else is a PC. Okay, now if you only send this message to those people, you are on fire, my friends, because these are the most engaged. They've done business with you before. Now, if there's anyone in there that you never want to speak to again, take them out. Easy, okay? So I want to give you ways to simplify this stuff so that you can actually take a small piece of action immediately, with the potential to get results. Now, segue for a minute. I did actually consider having this podcast episode for my tribe members in our private podcast, because I have a private podcast. One of the reasons I have that is sometimes what I share is only relevant to tribe members because they've got so much stuff organized, ready to rock and roll. But I decided I wanted to give this to everyone and that I could definitely find ways to help you. So my paying members will listen to this and use it, but they'll just have a few more things that they can use in their suite, right? So in terms of the email I sent him and that you could send out as well, you could use the 9-word email formula. Now, I just did a private podcast on that for my paying members. For you, all you really need to know, like you could Google that. I don't recommend you do because you'll go down a rabbit hole of how it's used for all different industries. For bookkeepers, I like to call it the 9-word email, text, or phone call. It can be really powerful. And if you've done that subject line, are you behind on the books and bats? It could just be a really simple email that said, hi, name, are you behind on the books or bats? That's it. That is what's called the 9-word email. It's an email of 9 words or less that simply seeks to pick up where you left off. So in terms of all these people that are either past clients, inactive clients, or if you know where your database is of anyone that you've ever sent a proposal or anyone that inquired but you didn't send a proposal, great. Import them in as well and you can send it out to them. All you need is this all in a Microsoft Excel, and technically you could even not use MailChimp. Like you can import them into MailChimp pretty easily and send out a nice mail merge with their name, but you could also kick it quick and dirty and just go, hey there, right? I do recommend you use their name, but if you are doing 0 now, anything is better than 0. So it could say, hey, just hey, instead of hi name. That would be okay as well. But it's even better if you do it in MailChimp, but progress over perfection, my friends. Version 1 might be using Microsoft Excel and you're just using your Gmail or whatever and you're just sending it out. You're going, you know what, I'm just going to take action, okay? But version 2 and version 3 is going to be a bit more organized, all right? So I recommend you just use the 9-word email and you just send that. I love 9-word emails, in this age where we have limited focus and we're also time poor, it's awesome. Now, I will give you in real life with Jeannie and what mine said. So mine kind of said, hi, Justin, as always, I'm sharing this with you for one reason, which is to help you do better in business. I've also done it in what's called sales page format. Sales page format seeks to do some of the copy that's in the email is in bold, centered, and also in a larger font. And what that does is when you get an email like that, oftentimes you only read that. So if he only read the stuff in bold, I'll tell you what he would read. Do better in business. Up-to-date, accurate numbers is globally recognized as pillar 1 for success. Optimize your business performance, your profit and cash. How can I help? Free of charge. Get back in the driver's seat. You'll have the floor. I'll share insights freely. So that's all he would read. But basically, because I'm kind of a version 10, do you know what I mean? You know how I just talked about version 1, simple email, 9-word email, best thing ever, super high value. But because I'm at version 10, mine talks about, so last time I touched base, I wanted to know what your gut feeling around your numbers was. This time I'd love to know, are you behind on the books and BAS? Because up-to-date, accurate numbers, blah, blah, blah. It's what we call numbers 101 and it goes on and on. And then I actually give this person an opportunity to book in a complimentary 90-minute strategy session. So it's just something that we're doing behind the scenes. Now, I like the 9-word email as much or better than I just told you, okay? In sales and marketing, things are always evolving, and right now I love the 9-word email. So please don't feel like you have to be doing my version 10. So that's all I'm going to say on that. But now what I want to pivot back to is advocacy and how it works, right? So I've shared the story of when we met and so far a bit of our communication, So then I got an email today and it says, hi, Jeannie, I've referred to you. Let's call him John Smith. I've referred to you, John Smith. Reach out to him as well. He has thousands of followers in his coaching business. And here's the message from this John Smith says, does anyone have a great bookkeeper who's on the Gold Coast where I am or in Brisbane? I need a few hours a week, please. So basically based on this friend of his wanting a bookkeeper, he's referred me. Even though he's not a client, even though he's never given me money, he's a prospective client. He has such a high opinion of me because of lots of things, which I'll dive into in a second, that he's happy to actually tell people around him. So if somebody needs a bookkeeper, he refers me. Yeah. And he's never actually become a client yet. He may do in the future. Okay. So this is the power of creating advocacy in your market. Yeah, not just with your clients. Like, we absolutely always think that advocacy only comes from working with someone, because then they become a happy client. Yeah, and a happy client advocates for you. Well, these days, in the economic landscape and the tech landscape that we live in, yeah, the exciting thing, I want it to blow your mind, is that you can and should be creating advocacy in your market for your brand, yeah, rather than just focusing on your clients. Okay. And the book is going to help you with that, and the free training is going to help you with that as well. One of the most powerful things that you can start doing is keeping in touch with your prospective clients and your clients. Yeah. So with your clients, you need to make sure you're on the phone having dialogue once a month. Yeah. And I've talked about that in other podcasts, and you might be thinking, but what if they don't have any queries? Get on the phone once a month. Ask, hi, how are you? Yeah. Trust me now, believe me later. There is going to be a magic that happens. In my program, the tribe members often say, Jeannie, there's a magic that is happening. There's a momentum that is happening. And it's through marketing layering, which I talk about in the Profit First Playbook workshop, okay, in the free training. I'll introduce you to marketing layering. But one of the layers, my friends, is what I said just then. Yeah. So make sure that those quiet clients that you never hear from, you're calling them once a month. Hi, Jeannie the bookkeeper here. We haven't spoken this month. Do you have a moment? Just want to find out how's things. Yeah. Powerful, powerful, powerful. It will deepen retention, referrals, everything. Not to mention, you might have the opportunity to find out that they have other problems that you can solve. Okay. So the power of keeping in touch and having conversations. So I'm going to tell you exactly my reply to Justin's email. So I said, hi, Justin, thanks so much. And please call me anytime during or after hours on my mobile number, even if it's just to chew the fat on business generally. Always happy to be a sounding board. Hope you're looking forward to Christmas with the family. Now, there's a science and art to what I put in there. Please feel free to go back and listen to this and use exactly what I said just then. So why would I say, please call me during or after hours? Well, my father has a saying that I love, and it goes, open the doors and give the people what they want. Sometimes the time that a prospective client might think of me is actually after hours. And if we think about the reason for that, is that they've had a long day or a long week or a long month. Yeah. And what they're thinking about is, I wish I had some more help in the business. Yeah. And their brain is just tossing and turning things over. And then because I keep in touch, I pop into their head and they think, oh, pretty sure that girl could make my life easier. Yeah. Now, I would be quite happy for this person. And then he's going to think, always says, like on repeat all the time, whenever you hear from me, please call me anytime during or after hours. So if I wanted to, I could just call her now. Like, she's already making my life easier and we're not even working together. Yeah. Imagine if I gave this person some money. Now, how many after hours calls do I get a week? 0. How many do I get a year? 2. Yeah. I am more than happy to see a missed call or to receive a call if I'm not busy, tending to the kids or out Latin dancing. I have no problem. Yeah. I 100% embrace the entrepreneur's journey. I'm not trying to have the best benefits of a 9-to-5 job and be an entrepreneur. And I recommend that you don't either. And then why do I say, even if it's just to chew the fat on business generally, always happy to be a sounding board? Because whenever we talk to a PC about where they're at and what's happening for them, we're doing more needs analysis. Yeah. So this is why it's really important to keep having conversations, okay? And then obviously hope you're looking forward to Christmas with the family. Well, I remember him telling me about his family and how he just moved here. This is ages ago. And I love that. And I hold him in my mind. And of course, I'm thinking about his beautiful little children and enjoying time with them. But the science and art here is, as I say in my book, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And everything that I've talked to you about today leans into the why. So call me during or after hours, even if it's a chew the fat on business generally, I want to know his why. You know what I mean? Like, what are your wins? What are your losses? What are you struggling with? Yeah. So again, I won't rattle on about that anymore, but I'm doing in real life with Jeannie. So I'm telling you literally 15 minutes ago what he sent back to me. Hi, Jeannie, appreciate that. I'm going through an acquisition of a practice at the moment, but hopefully we can connect in the new year. So basically he's telling me I haven't started using anyone else, right? I'm still with the bookkeeper I'm not happy with. So I did another podcast on relationship, convenience, and price, right? The 3 buying triggers. Now he is only staying with his existing bookkeeper because it is inconvenient to leave them. So that bookkeeper doesn't realize this client is holding on by a thread and will run from his practice the minute that he has the space to do so. But it is inconvenient to change bookkeepers, yeah? So this business owner, entrepreneur is telling me, I absolutely want to work with you and I'm going to, yeah? So all I have to do with my business development hat on is keep in touch with him. In the Profit First Playbook free training, I give you some more information on how you can do that. But let's keep it simple. Imagine that you reserve time in your diary every day. And actually, yes, in the free training, as I redid the free training, I literally give you a bit of a 5-point plan in there. Yeah. So imagine if every day you reached out to just manually a past client with a text message, an inactive client with a text message, someone who hasn't said yes to a proposal, right? Keep in touch. Somebody that 6 months ago said yes to somebody else, just to say, has it all worked out? Are you happy? Call me anytime to chew the fat on business generally. Happy to be a sounding board. Like, what would happen in your practice? I can tell you what would happen. You would say to yourself eventually, gosh, I just seem to have a pipeline of leads now. Yeah. Leads to loyalty, my friends, that is absolutely a phrase that I have taken from the amazing Matt Wilkinson, okay, from Biz Inc. Let's drop his details into the show notes as well. If you want to build or renovate a website and you're a bookkeeper or accountant, there is no one better worldwide than Matt, okay? And he doesn't even pay me to say that, but we totally vibe. And why wouldn't I tell you how to kick goals with someone extraordinary? Okay, so this was a bit of a fast and furious podcast. So if your head's spinning, just remember you can listen to this podcast, speed me up 1.3 speed, 10 times if you want to. I'm going to tell you that embracing the diamonds at your feet, your database, will revolutionize the results you get in your practice, okay? I absolutely am thinking about how you're feeling and what you're doing right now. I like to connect deeply with my audience, with my bookkeepers, with my accountants and more, okay? So I've given you lots of action steps in this podcast. So I feel like you've got that sorted. Absolutely, the free training is great. I've given this action step a million times before, but I'm going to give it to you again just because it's so simple but so powerful. If you have a past client or an active client, one or more, could you immediately, after you listen to this podcast, send them a text message which seeks to understand where they're at, which is also the 9-word email says it picks up where you left off. I like that phrase, yeah? So, hi, Sally, haven't heard from you a while. How's things? Yeah, that is a great 9-word text message. Or, hi, Sally, you just popped into my head. Are you keeping up to date with the books? Because if you're not, please just sing out, okay, during or after hours. So there's 2 messages you can send to a past client or an inactive client that picks up where you left off, yeah, and seeks to understand where they're at and seeks to be of service, okay? I can tell you right now that 2 weeks later, I get a reply that just says, you're such a gem, Jeannie, for thinking of me. And this is authenticity and manners marketing, my friends, okay? So That's a wrap for the podcast. I'll see you in the next episode.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have a question you'd like answered on my podcast, please email me hello@thestrategicbookkeeper.global. Did you know we have a private Facebook group called the Strategic Bookkeeper's Way? There you'll find bookkeepers just like you on the same journey where you can ask questions and get support. You can find more resources and how to work with me at thestrategicbookkeeper.global. All the links are in the show notes. Have a prosperous week and I'll see you in the next episode.